It's 11 and people are still joining, so we would wait for 5 more minutes for all of them to join.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. As you can see, a lot of participants haven't joined yet, so we would appreciate if you maintain the same decorum for the next 5 minutes, and do feel free to drop in whatever you had for breakfast early this morning in the chat box so that we can make this session an interactive one. And our team would be happy to get to know about anything else that you wanted to share. But to be noted that do not share or create any sort of havoc in the chat box. We would really reach out to you if you have any issues, or if you need anything, feel free to mention everything down in the chat box. Hi there, everyone. Good morning. How are you all doing? And probably it's sharp 11:05, and without much ado, I guess we should begin the session. I believe we also have our host up on board. Great. So, how is your morning? Like, I see the chat's pretty filled up, and it's great that we had so many individuals join in right now. And yup, I really believe the audience is eager to move ahead with the session. But before we do that, there are certain things that we believe you all should be knowing. We would have a Q&A session to address all your queries and doubts. So feel free to mention all your queries right there in the chat box, and we'll make it a point that all your queries are addressed to our level best. And if you have anything else, any glitches, any issues, or any difficulty that you face, do let us know via the chat. Do not unmute until you're not asked to, because that would break the decorum and create a havoc out here, which none of us wish. So I believe that would be a wrap up about all we could say regarding this notification or rules. Let's have a formal intro. This is GDSC ITR's first session or independent full-fledged event that we have for all of you, that is Hack into the Cloud. And we're so happy to bring such an event right before 30 days of cloud, so that you could get a deeper insight about G Cloud and cloud computing and cybersecurity and all that stuff. So I hope you all are excited, and to keep your spirits high and not to waste any more time, I would request our host, Manisha, to come ahead and introduce our speaker and then move ahead with the session. Hope you have a great time learning.
Hey there, wishing you all a very good morning. I am Manisha and I heartily welcome you all to this workshop on hacking into the cloud. I'm profusely overjoyed to take the opportunity to introduce our speaker of the day. He is none other than Mr. Sagar Patra. He is a cybersecurity analyst at TCS, Microsoft Azure certified, chapter lead at Open Web Application Security Project at Jamshedpur, and a bug bounty hunter. And yes, I'm glad to say that he has too completed his BTech from ITR only. Now, I would request our distinguished speaker, Mr. Sagar Patra, to address the gathering and to give his precious inputs to our dear students who are seeking to be like him. So, sir, would you like to tell more about yourself?
Hi Manisha, hi Ankita, hi everyone. A very good morning, everyone. Thank you for hosting this wonderful event, and you guys are really doing good. Okay, so I'll introduce myself, okay, by presenting the slide only. So I guess we are all here, and we are good to start with our presentation, right? Am I audible, guys?
Yes, you're perfectly audible. And
Okay.
as I can see in the chat, everyone is so enthusiastic to have the session begin.
Yeah, I'm also very excited. I joined 10:30. Okay. Anyway, let's start it. Okay. So let me share my screen. Anyway, please let me know if it is visible. It is visible, right?
Yes,
Yes,
it's
sir, it's
visible right now.
absolutely all right.
Okay. So we will have a wonderful session about hacking into the clouds, as nowadays clouds are the thing which is a future. Okay. Every organization are moving their assets into the cloud. So let's get started into hacking into the clouds. So who am I? So I am a security analyst at TCS. I am a security researcher at Bugcrowd, USP Hack, and SESPA. I used to do bug bounties in this platform. Okay, and I am chapter leader of OS Jamshedpur. And my area of expertise are cloud security, web application hacking, API hacking, network hacking, thick client hacking. Okay, Last but not the least, I am also an alumni of ITR. I am 2020 pass out batch. Okay, moving on to the next slide. So before starting the session, this is a small disclaimer. So whatever we will learn today, this is only for educational purpose only. Uh, Before doing anything, okay, like whatever we learn, you should have a proper approval and always hack with a proper approval. Okay, if you don't have a approval and you are going to hack, then somehow you're going, the companies or anyway, they're going to get back to you and you will be penalized. Okay, and last but not the least, be a hacker with ethical mindset. Don't be a bad hacker. Okay, always hack for good. Yeah. So what is our agenda today? So agenda is why to target clouds. Okay, why are attacker targeting the clouds? Why reason why penetration testing is important? Types of engagement in cloud, scope of cloud, permitted services in AWS for pen testing. So basically, in today's session, we will more focus on AWS cloud. Okay, and we will have understanding about and hacking few AWS resources. And then lastly, I will say some useful resources that can help you. And the last would be a Q&A session where you are welcome to ask any question. Okay, any queries, any career counseling. I'm ready to help you guys. Okay, so let's start it. So before starting, I hope many guys might be knowing about pen testing. Okay, if not, then let me tell you what is pen testing. Like pen testing is an legal authorized way. Uh, you have permission to hack. Okay, companies give you an approval and you hack with an approval. Okay, you have to break down server, web application, mobile app, whatever the thing is. Okay, you break down in order to measure the security, how safe the thing is, like application, how safe the cloud is. Okay, so this is what we call as pen testing. Okay, don't confuse with testing. Okay, like in normal testing applications, that is not like this is pen testing, this is different. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. Why to target clouds? Okay, so like in recent years, many companies are migrating their business from on-prem to cloud. Like in back in 2020 only, 2019 only, many companies are shifting their infrastructure in cloud as because of these factors: flexibility, cost saving and investment, disaster recovery, scalability, collaboration efficiency. Okay, many of you might be knowing about these factors, but still let me elaborate one by one. What are those? Okay, so first of all is flexibility. What is flexibility? Suppose let me give you an example. Okay, so if you need access to any document and data while you are not at home, while you are not at where your personal laptop is not at your side, then you can get your data quickly. Okay, from anywhere. Okay, through the internet only. So that is like flexibility. The second factor is cost saving and investment. In cloud, the best thing is it's only like you pay for what you use. Okay, these allow business to optimize their budget and more efficiently and use the services. They'll need to grow and develop the company further. Okay, so this is the good factor. So the next factor is disaster recovery. So the cloud has an integrated data backup and recovery process that keeps your business data safe at every time. Your data is secured. Okay, your data is protected from cyber attacks. Okay, data breaches, natural disaster, and even physical theft. So the only so like the way it works, disaster recovery, your data is not always stored in one place. Okay, instead, it's split into fragments and then it's encrypted and then distributed across various locations, that is remote data centers. The way even if cyber criminals find a way to steal your data from one location, then you did not have to worry, as because that is unusable, the data, as because that is encrypted and you have a backup of data everywhere. Okay, so the next is scalability. Okay, what is scalability? So effective business scaling is a big good factor for companies nowadays. Okay, if companies are able to scale up their infrastructure in few minutes, then they have a competitive environment in the market. Okay, so for example, let me give you an example. Like you have an college website, so sometimes you may have noticed, like during the day of your result, okay, sometimes your website crashes, or sometimes you face a slowness in the result day. Okay, as because on that day many students are visiting the website, they want to view the result, so the traffic is more during that day only. Okay, so if the website is hosted on cloud, okay, so what would be the advantage? Like if that day the traffic is more, then automatically if there is more traffic also, there is no problem. Okay, anyway, uh, servers will add up. Okay, and you will not face any slowness or any server crash. Okay, and if that your result day is over, and in normal days where the traffic is less than the result day, then the server will minimize. Okay, the cloud will minimize the server, and this way the scalability works. Okay, and in this process your cost also saves. So this is also a good factor nowadays. And the last but not the least is collaboration efficiency. Okay, it's always better for like students, employees. Okay, enabling multiple users to share and work on data, okay, and files at the same time. So cloud provides that environment collaboration. Okay, so this is a good factor for everyone. Okay, if any website or anything, if you're moving to cloud, then this several factors: flexibility, cost saving, disaster recovery, scalability, collaboration efficiency, these are good things. Okay, so next thing, let's go to the next slide. So what is the reason penetration testing is needed? Okay, so you can see the reason are meeting compliance, okay, maintaining confidentiality, revenue, and security training for network staff, to verify secure configuration, security training for network staff, testing new technology implementation. Okay, let me explain you one by one. So meeting compliance, like in cloud, there is always a mandate in payment card industry to follow some standards and regulation. If a cloud holds some payment card information, okay, so it always need to have match the standard or PCI DSS regulation. Okay, so that is the important. Meeting compliance is important. So next, maintaining confidentiality, revenue, and security training. So if a company fails to protect the confidentiality of a data, that can result in legal consequences and loss of goodwill. A security attack can affect the accounting record, hamper the revenue of an organization. If nowadays you have heard about data breaches, if data breaches happens in anything, okay, any web servers or anywhere, then there will be a loss of revenue. Nobody will trust that website. Okay, so there are many factors. Okay, so that's why maintaining confidentiality, revenue, and security training is important. So the next is to verify secure configuration. If the security team of an organization is doing a good job and they're confident they are secure, then a penetration testing is needed to verify they're confident whether they are really good about securing the resources or not. Okay, so the next is security training for network staff. For penetration testing, companies always allows security personnel to recognize and respond to cyber attacks properly. For instance, if a penetration tester is able to compromise a system without letting know the peoples who are uh, like in charge of the cloud, okay, if they are not aware that if the cloud have been compromised, then it's a fail for them. So that is the reason uh, security peoples need to make them understand the network staff, okay, for every security aspect. And last but not the least, testing new technology implementation. So testing the technology before it goes into production stage, it is always considered to test the technology, okay, in UAT or staging environment. So in production environment, many like clients and peoples who will rely on the websites or network or whatever it is, and if that time, if any incident happens, then it will be a loss for company only. So that's why these all factors are important for aspect of penetration testing. Okay, so moving on to the next slide, types of engagement in cloud pen test. There are obviously the same black box, gray box, white box. So what is black box penetration testing? In black box penetration testing, the security analyst plays a role like a black hat hacker. Okay, he plays a similar role like hacker. He has no knowledge about the cloud. Okay, he had to hack a cloud by doing reconnaissance, by doing many things like as a mindset of real hacker. So this is a good uh, engagement. Okay, so what are the advantage of this engagement? So as you can see on the screen, the testing is performed by considering the hacker point of view. Okay, and in this penetration testing kind of engagement, the security analyst need not have to be a deep knowledge of programming language. Okay, so that's a good point. If anyone who is not comfortable with programming language, that's a good point for them. This black hat engagement, and the tester then verifies the differences by examining the actual system expected specifications. Okay, so this whole engagement is done as a point of hacker only. Okay, so the next is white box penetration testing. So in white box penetration testing, the security analyst who is in charge of pen testing the environment, they have the knowledge of all the things in cloud, like whatever the things are hosted, how many, what are the resources. Okay, they have to do source code of all the things. Okay, source code review of all the things. Okay, basically it is an aggressive penetration testing approach. Okay, in this approach, the hacker is given a knowledge of everything inside the cloud, and they are told to do penetration testing on each and everything so that they don't miss anything. Okay, it is an aggressive way of penetration testing. Okay, last, it is gray box penetration testing. In gray box penetration testing, the hacker is provided with some level of access plus some level of knowledge. Okay, it is in between white box and black box. Okay, so the attacker has somewhat some kind of knowledge what are the resources hosted. Okay, normally in this typically this method of penetration testing, gray box penetration testing, is done the most. Okay, so attacker has some kind of knowledge. Attacker doesn't have a deep knowledge like how the cloud infrastructure are working for their business. They don't have a deep knowledge what how they are using programming languages, how lambda functions they are using. So they are allowed to pen test with a minimal kind of knowledge. Okay, in gray box penetration testing. So moving on to the next slide. So what is the scope of pen testing in the cloud? So as you have heard about software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. So if the client says you, uh, like you have to go IaaS type of engagement, the scope of is IaaS, then these are the things which is in the scope of your pen testing. You don't have the hypervisor, server, storage, physical network. These are the cloud's responsibility. You need to attack those things. Okay, you can attack virtual system, operating system, middleware. Okay, your scope is only till this much. Okay, in as similar platform as a service, the cloud provider, they have the responsibility for like runtime, middleware, operating system, virtual network. They are responsible for securing those environment. Okay, and as an attacker, you're only allowed to pen test like data, applications, and people, like phishing attacks, social engineering. Okay, as a attacker, you are only allowed to pentest only these stages. And last, software as a service. In software as a service, the cloud providers are responsible for all the things like operating system, application, middleware, physical server, all the things. Okay, they are responsible for all these things. But only thing the attacker has to take care, like the scope is the data, how the data is stored, and the people. Obviously, people are most vulnerable. Okay, phishing attacks, social engineering, so the attackers had to take care of all this thing. So this is basically a scope of pen testing in cloud. Okay, so basically in this session we will only discuss about Amazon Web Service pen testing. uh, so Amazon Web Service only allow to pen test some of the resources which you can see in the screen, like Amazon EC2 instance, net gateways, ELBs, RDS, CloudFront, Aurora, API gateways. These are some permitted service. Okay, you can only pentest on these 11 services, not the other services. If you pentest on the other services, then AWS, uh, you may be in problem. Okay, so only these services are in scope of hacking. Please keep in mind. Okay, and in the next upcoming slides, we will discuss about few resources, how to hack those resources. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. What is EC2? Okay, so many of you might be knowing that it is a web service that provides a secure, resizable compute capacity in the cloud. Okay, so EC2. So how to pentest EC2? Okay, pentesting EC2. Normally we use AWS CLI. Many of you might be aware what is AWS CLI. It is Amazon Web Service command line interface only. So in pentesting EC2, what you have to do, you have to list out what all the uh, EC2 uh, are there in their cloud account by specifying the region. Okay, obviously. And then the second thing, you have to find out if anything like information, sensitive information, that it is exposed. Okay, in the data attribute. Normally, in as for my experience, I found many sensitive information in the data attribute. So this is the command. Okay, AWS CLI command. You can use this command to find if any sensitive information are there. And using the sensitive information, you can depth dive and you can hack into depth. Okay, suppose example, if password is exposed, if API keys are exposed, then it's a gold mine for you. Okay, it totally depends what the information are exposed. And the last, a traditional method of pen testing is done on EC2. So what is the traditional method? Traditional method is identify and fingerprinting open maps using Nmap. So what is Nmap? Nmap is a port scanning tool, host discovery tool. Okay, it is a good tool. Many of you might be knowing or not, I don't know. Okay, but it is a good tool for discovering post, discovering open ports host, discovering what is the OS. Okay, so we can use this tool to identify any open ports, and then we have to fingerprint like what is the version of the open port. If that version is vulnerable, we can search in Google. If that version is vulnerable, we need a POC and we can attack. Okay, and last but not the least, we can also use automated scanners like Nextpose, Nessus. Okay, this can also help us in pen testing EC2. All right. So moving on to the next slide, what is S3 buckets? So many of you might be knowing S3 buckets. So Amazon Simple Storage Service is a bucket storage service that offers industry leading scalability. Okay, in these buckets, it's like storage. You can store your data, you can retrieve your data. It's like a storage for storage kind of resources. Okay, and many of the websites, many of the industry are using S3 buckets. Okay, in a large number. Okay, and many of the data breaches that you might have heard, like the data have been compromised from the cloud because of this misconfiguration in S3 buckets. This S3 buckets is misconfigured in such a way that unauthorized person who is not authorized, they can also access. And if they are able to access, if there is sensitive information like records of all the things, like person's information, then they can, then there is a data breach. Okay, so how to pentest S3 buckets? Okay, so pentesting S3 buckets, we have to see if S3 bucket is having read public read access. So if the bucket is misconfigured and any authorized person can read the data, obviously that is a vulnerability, and this is the most vulnerability that is found these days. And the other is S3 bucket having public write access. If you don't have read access, if you have write access, so if you write anything, if you upload anything to the bucket, okay, obviously the company have to pay the cost for it. That is vulnerability. Okay, so the other is S3 bucket authenticated user write access. If you are not authorized, but somehow if you are authenticated to other cloud and you get authorized to S3 bucket, that is a vulnerability. Okay, the other is subdomain takeover, Amazon S3 bucket vulnerability. Okay, and in S3 buckets, if you have if you are engaged in gray box pen testing or white box pen testing, then you may obviously have S3 bucket read permission. Then you have to go depth into the uh, buckets and see if some critical data is exposed or not. If something is exposed, then you can tell your customer to encrypt this data. Okay, so this is how pen testing is done on S3 buckets. Okay, so Lambda. The next is Lambda. What is Lambda? Obviously, the Lambda is a serverless compute engine that lets you run a code without provisioning or managing server. Okay, so how pen testing can be done in Lambda? In Lambda, mostly what happens, like you have there is one vulnerability, that is Lambda code injection. I have not included a content here, that is depth content. Okay, so that's why a common vulnerability is Lambda code injection. So how can you find there is code injection possible or not? Okay, suppose there are Lambda functions, okay, and you see you have to do code review of the functions. If you see some code, okay, that is not a good practice of coding, okay, then through that only you can penetrate the system. Okay, code injection is possible. And in Lambda functions, you have to search for juicy things like hard-coded credentials, any keys that are exposed. Normally, lazy developers, what they use, they hard code the things. Okay, so that is not the best practice by the developer. So they need to take care of that. And as an attacker, you always need to have eye about the code. Okay, on the code. Here are some tools, okay, which can help even pen testing Lambda. Some of them are Bandit, SemGrep, which can be found on GitHub. Okay, the next is IAM. So IAM is an identity access management. It deals which permission, which user has which kind of permission, which user has which kind of level of access. Okay, in IAM there are users, there are groups, there are roles. Okay, so how pen testing is done in IAM? Okay, so first of all, you need to perform an enumeration. What is enumeration? You have to collect you data like what I am, how many users are there, how many roles are there, how many groups are there in the cloud account. This is called enumeration. You have to enumerate. Okay, then you have to analyze each users, each groups, each roles policy. Okay, you have to see if they are misconfigured or not. Okay, if they have some extra level of permission or not. Okay, normally it is advised to have minimal level of permission. Okay, and if you are a developer, then you should have minimal level of permission. Okay, if you are a developer and if you are getting more permission, that means the cloud is vulnerable. vulnerable. If somehow any attacker compromise the credentials or access key, access token of that developer, then if that developer has some kind of misconfiguration permission, that attacker can leverage the permission to a root account. Okay, that's why it is always essential to review the permissions of user role group, okay, in order to prevent from privilege escalation. All right. So the next slide is RDS. RDS, as the name suggests, it is Amazon Relational Database Service. Okay, it is a database service in cloud which has MySQL, NoSQL databases. So how pen testing is done in RDS? So in RDS, first of all, we have to enumerate. Okay, as I told you, how to enumerate. You have to collect the information. What data service databases are the cloud provider using? The client is using MySQL, NoSQL, okay, PostgreSQL. What they are using? Okay, this is the command. This is a hint I have said here. You can use this AWS CLI command in the CLI to enumerate what DB instances are there. Then next is you have to obviously use Nmap tool to find out what are the version of database. If that version is vulnerable, okay. So at beginning, how can you know the version is vulnerable? You need to search in Google version. Suppose whatever version you get, version 6.0, vulnerable exploits. You have to search, okay, in Google. If you find some version is vulnerable, then in Google you will get POC, okay, proof of concept, like how to attack that. If you get, that is a good thing, and using those you can leverage an attack. Okay, so there are some Nmap scripts which can help us to find out possible username of the database. Okay, there are some commands in Nmap which help us to find possible username. And the last, what we can do, if we have the username, then we can use another tool like Hydra to brute force. So what is brute forcing? Brute forcing is like, I have a username, okay, root, and I don't have the password. So I have a word list of 100, 10,000, 1 lakh password. So I will brute force like combination root password ABCD, root password XYZ. Okay, so this is a combination attack. Okay, dictionary attack, what we call brute force. And last but not the least, in login page of any RDS open in web browser, you will obviously get a login page. Try to do SQL injection authentication bypass. Okay, if you manage to do authentication bypass, it's a win-win situation. Okay, you can access to any users. Okay, you can access to database. You have the information. Okay, so these are the things that you can do on RDS. So some of the useful resources I have said, like how to conduct assessment. Okay, uh, so Scout Suite, it is an automation tool, auditing tool, which help us. Okay, if you provide the access key, access token, then it helps us in during the pen testing phase, and it help give some vulnerability. Okay, there is other tool, we can say Prowler. Okay, attacking S3. You can search at awesomesec S3 in GitHub. There are many tools. Okay, it is a GitHub repository. It contains many tools which can help to pentest S3 buckets. Okay, then attacking IAM. There are some tools like PMapper by NCC Group. You can use this tool to perform pen testing on IAM. So all these tools, they are open source tool, and you can find this tool on GitHub. Okay, all these are free. So like discovering all the AWS resources in the account. Suppose you have got an access key, access token, you don't know what are the resources uh, in your account. So what you can do, you can use AWS inventory tool by ANCC Group. So this tool helps you to identify what are the resources in your account. Okay, so for static code analysis tool, obviously, like for as I stated in Lambda function, if there are 4 to 5 Lambda function, it is possible for you to manually go and see the code. But if there are thousands, if there are lakhs, okay, then how can you manually do? It's impossible for you within a shorter period of time. So in that period, you have to do uh, static code analysis using tool like Bandit, StemGraph. This tool can help you for automation. Okay, you can do a code review, and this tool will help you identify if any misconfigured code, if any code code is hard coded credential are found. Okay, so you can use this both tool. So like if you want to have a hands-on knowledge in this cloud pen testing, there are some resources like Cloud Goat. Okay, it is a vulnerable design AWS environment. Okay, so here you can perform hands-on. There are flaws and flaws too. Okay, there are some labs by Contra Security. This is new, and it also teaches you how you can attack as AWS. Okay, so there are few resources I have provided in this PPT, which can help you during pen testing phase. So it's all over now. Anyone, do you have any question? Then you're ready. Welcome. You're welcome to ask any kind of any question.
Attendees, please interact and you can just put for your questions in the chat box so that he can try to reach them out to you.
Hey, don't sigh. I am also an IT student. Okay, if you have any kind of question, okay, so please ask. Uh, you can come in. You can unmute your mic. Okay, and you can ask.
Firstly, thank you so much for such an amazing session. And as I can see, we do have two questions in the chat box. The first one being, so which is better, CEH or OSCP? And
Yeah.
this is by Manojit.
Whoever is asking, can you please come unmute? I want to interact you guys with you guys.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
He, not sir. Okay. So which is better, CH or OSCP? So obviously OSCP is better. Okay, but CH, uh, if you are new into cybersecurity, you need to have an backbone. You need to have an foundational. Okay, in cybersecurity, so you can go for CH. You can go for CompTIA Pen Test Plus. You can go for EJPT. These are the basic certification you can do, and obviously at the end you can go for OSCP, Offensive Security Certified Professional. It has a huge demand in the market. Okay, so if you do this certification, it will be good for future. All right.
Okay, thank you, sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have the next question here. So Gyanaranjit, can you unmute yourself?
Jana,
Yes,
hey,
hello.
how are you?
Hi, I'm fine. Good.
Hey, good to know.
So, I was asking, like, can you share a roadmap to follow while testing some of the cloud service based applications?
Yeah, so some roadmap, you mean some checklist, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I do have some checklist. I can share with you guys offline. Okay, as I mentioned in the PPT, okay, there are some checklist here also. Let me so. Okay, I have not included that, but I can let me write in the chat. Okay, you can use this website. There are some checklist. Okay, you can go through this checklist, and you can. This website is very useful. This has how to. This has also command also and the remediation also. So for cloud services like AWS, Azure, GCP, you can utilize this website. Okay.
Okay. So, suppose we are encountering a S3 bucket takeover or something. So, do we need to like take over the bucket and show them, or can we just directly report it?
It's obviously better if you show them the impact, as because showing the impact, that is a practical thing. Okay, if you would simply tell them there is a S3 bucket takeover, then obviously the guys like the triagers will ask you to show them impact. So you need to show the impact anyhow.
I guess like AWS for getting an S3 bucket will need credits. So. Is that
Uh,
good if
yeah,
I?
for uh, for claiming S3 bucket, right?
Yes.
For claiming S3 bucket, you need to have some MX record, like you have some server. Okay, if you have some server, then there are some things like DNS, MX record, TXT. Some there are some things. Using this only, you can take over the bucket. Normally, in short, you need to have any website.
Oh,
Okay. Anyone? Any question? Any basic question?
Well, I believe from a speaker's point of view, you should be happy that probably everyone understood everything out here, and that's really great.
Yeah.
We could expect that.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Anyone like any basic question? How to get into cybersecurity? Like what is the scope? Can ask.
Hello, sir. First of all, I would like to say that the session was really interactive. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for that. Actually, I had a query actually.
Yeah.
So,
Please.
at several times while installing Android Studio, I just got an error like, what is SSL certificate actually? I just want to know that, like, how can we just issue the same and all?
Okay. SSL certificate, right? When you're installing Android Studio, right?
Yes, yes, yes. While
And
installing Android
when you're
Studio.
installing the emulator in Android Studio, in which scenario you're getting SSL certificate?
Actually, this thing happened long time ago, and I just tried to query the same. It's been again and again. It was saying that please issue your SSL certificate. So actually, I wanted to know what it is actually and what's the process to issue that.
Okay, so SSL certificate, uh, SSL certificate, it enables website to move from HTTP to HTTPS. Okay, if your website in HTTP Hypertext Transport Protocol, obviously that is insecure. So if you for moving HTTP into HTTPS, we use SSL certificate. Okay, so an SSL certificate is a data file that is hosted in website's original server. Okay, it is like whatever request you make in HTTP data encrypted. Okay, so you were asking how to get that SSL certificate, right?
Yes, exactly.
uh, for SSL certificate you need to have like what we say, uh, normally when you are using some application, then it is showing SSL certificate error, or what is it?
Yes, while installing the packages like the SDK packages, it was showing us again and again like having an invalid SSL certificate or it is not secure. It was showing some kind of error actually regarding the SSL certificate. So I was a bit confused regarding what it is actually. So that was all.
Yeah, you will get Google, you will get many certificates like okay, CS certificate or many certificate. If you use that certificate also, then I guess you would not have that error. Okay, this error is basically because of HTTP request only. Okay, so if you have some error and if you install some certificate like CS certificate, Postfigure certificate, then I guess that will not have any error. Okay.
Okay, that's just for security purpose only. Okay, okay.
Yeah, right.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Soumya Ranjan Mahapatra. Hey, Soumya.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, so your question is like, what you see? Roadmap of cybersecurity and ethical hacking as career. Okay. So, in cybersecurity, you have many options. Okay. Many options, like there are many things like offensive security. Currently, like I am working as a offensive security. So, what is offensive security? Like breaking the things, like attacking as a point of hacker. Okay, there are offensive security, there are paths like SOC analyst. Those guys are responsible for securing the website, securing the environment. Okay, so that what we call blue team. There is another path also, malware researcher. Okay, malware researcher, you have to dive depth into what are the malware you have to uh, like understand the behavior of malware and its characteristic. Okay, so there are many paths in cybersecurity. Okay, as a penetration tester also. So there are many paths, and you can choose as per your provision, whichever you like. Okay. So Somya, which year you are in?
Sir, I am from BCA second year from ITR.
Okay, second year. So okay, try to explore the area. Okay, see what is your interest, and then you can go choose your career wise in cybersecurity. Okay, like
Sir, can BCA student can become a cybersecurity or ethical hacker?
obviously no problem. Any student can become anyone. Okay,
Thank you, sir.
there is no boundary.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Uh, Ahisha Rai. Which tools are good for man in the middle attack? Okay. Hey, Ahisha.
Hello, yeah. My question is which tools are better for man in the middle attacks? Like I have
So
used BetterCap, but
yeah,
in that I am not able to downgrade HTTPS to HTTP.
oh yeah, for man in the middle attack nowadays, what happens? The security is becoming stronger. Okay, so you will have several challenges to downgrade. Okay, for HTTPS to HTTP, the, it's like it's like not possible nowadays. Okay, because websites are using many things. Like if you downgrade somehow, if you downgrade HTTPS to somehow HTTP, then website will not load. The website will show unexpected behavior. Okay, so there is very much protection. Okay, anyhow, if you like Facebook.com, if you try to open Facebook in HTTP, okay, you can't. Okay, if you try to open Facebook HTTP, you try to
Yeah,
open.
that's not possible.
Yeah, so they are using certificates like Manisha as SSL certificate. They are using SSL certificate, HTTPS certificate, so that doesn't allow you. Okay, in back 3 4 years, the infrastructure, all the things were not so good. Okay, so that day that it was possible. If somehow, if the website is running on HTTPS and you can do run the website in HTTP, that itself is a vulnerable thing. Okay.
Yeah, so like is there any alternative for doing those things?
There are no alternatives. Okay, whatever you are using, better cap. Okay, there are some like many tools in GitHub. You can search them in GitHub. Okay, uh, these are the only things only tools only you can use, but many website doesn't allow you. Okay, keep in this
Alright.
mind. Yeah, many
Alright,
websites
thank
don't allow. Yeah,
thank you.
yeah, thanks. Manojit Parla. Hey, Manojit.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, you wanna know my story?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks. So, as my story is like, I have worked in like various things during my college days. Okay, as a developer, as a Android developer, as a website developer, as a data science, I have explored many areas. Okay, I have explored many areas. Then I came to know that my interest is in cybersecurity hacking only. Okay, then then in my last year only, I focused much on the cybersecurity. Uh, and yeah, as a college student, you will always feel like something like if you have a very good amount of money, then it's a good for you. Like in as a student, so bug bounty excited me a lot. Okay, this day. So bug bounty, if you find vulnerability in website, okay, then you're uh, paid in dollars, not in INR. Okay, $200, $600, $500. So as a student, if you're getting paid $200, that is equivalent to 18,000. If you're getting $500, that is equivalent to 45,000. That was a like a good phase for me. Okay, that excited me a lot, honestly. Okay, so from there only, I used to do bug bounties. I enjoyed my things. Okay, I fulfilled my many dreams. Okay, as a student only. Okay. So from there only, then I shifted to new different technologies in cybersecurity to explore different things. Okay, except bug bounties, there are many things to explore, and even if I'm exploring now also, cybersecurity is like an ocean. Okay, you always know a drop of water. Okay, there are many things. Okay, so that's now like I'm excited in this field. I'm learning. I'm also learning these days. Okay.
Sir, actually, I'm from commerce background. I'm currently in pursuing commerce. So I took a course in the My Captain thing about the CH thing. So I don't have that exposure in my college's time to read about cybersecurity and all those stuff. So is there any way from where we can learn online or do pursue this thing?
Yeah, yeah. Anyhow, okay. So you are from not that background. It's not a problem for you. Okay. First of all, I'd advise you to learn about networking, to have a good idea about networking. Okay. Then then explore in YouTube, like what are the options in cybersecurity, and s- think like what option is fit for you. Okay. So according to that option, if you find resources. Okay. Like my option, I am a pen tester and tester. I am a ethical hacker. Okay. So you can find your option, and in Google there are many resources. If you find your career path, like where you want to go. Okay. Then you Google. If you don't find anything in Google, you can reach out to me, LinkedIn or anywhere. I can help you. Okay. In your process, I can guide you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Is that fine?
Yeah, thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. So next question is Ashish. Hey Ashish. Hey Ashish, I can't hear you.
Yeah,
Uh,
hello.
yeah,
Yeah,
how are you?
yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. So what's your question?
Means I want to know what is your opinion on getting a job or building a startup?
So you are thinking to build a startup, right?
Yeah,
I don't have that idea on building a startup. Okay. I can't comment on that. So if you, so what are your startup plans? Can I know that?
sir, it should be better if we discuss privately.
Huh, okay, that's fine. So actually, I can't comment. Okay, I'm not the correct person to comment you on doing job or going for startup. Okay, obviously, going for startup is good, and you will have many problems. You have to be prepared for that. Okay, getting job is easy. Okay, doing job is easy. Okay, so it's your choice. You have to face the struggle. Okay, so I don't think I can comment or understand on that your statement. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, you can reach out me in LinkedIn if you have some queries. Okay, maybe if I
Okay,
can be of your any some kind of help.
thank you, sir. Right.
Yeah, yeah. Please don't call me sir. Okay, you can call me Sagar. Okay, everyone. Okay, please don't call sir. Okay, Gyana, where can we find some good internship opportunities in cybersecurity for fresher? Yeah, there are a lot of internship opportunities. Okay, so first of all, what you need to do to get an internship, obviously uh, the company which will hire you as an intern, they wants to see a good thing in you. Okay, so I would suggest to build a strong base in your cyber security. Okay, show them your dedication, show some of your work into cyber security. Then there's many companies. Okay, you can get selected as an intern in cybersecurity. Some of the companies are like Hacktify. Okay, Kratikal. Okay, August. Many companies they have interns. Okay, many startup they have interns, and you can get selected as an internship. But you know the market, like in cybersecurity, the market is like if you people are doing something good, something very good. Okay, then they will hire you, and it's not like you can't do good. You give your time, okay, and you will be in a good position. To take my example, nobody had taught me anything in this, not my colleges, not my seniors, no one. Okay, this is my self improvement only. Okay, yeah, my self decision, self improvement. You can obviously do good.
Okay, sir, I was asking like where can you find good bug bounty programs? Like HackerOne are in like most programs in HackerOne are like too crowded. Like they have so many.
Yeah, that is the problem. Okay, nowadays in this pandemic only, many security researchers have joined. Okay, so obviously, HackerOne or take it Bugcrowd, it's too crowded. It's too hard to find a valid bug. You will find a vulnerability. Okay, but that would may end up as a duplicate, and you will not be get paid. Okay, so I'll encourage you to go in Bugcrowd or USVHack or CISPA. Okay, keep finding vulnerability, keep finding. If you get a duplicate vulnerability, be happy. Okay, don't be sad like if your vulnerability is duplicate. And okay, and sorry, I'm getting distracted. Your vulnerability is duplicate, and don't get uh, like low. Okay, be happy, think that you have found a vulnerability. But the thing is, in this bug bounties, you have to be stand out either first or you were nowhere else, no second, third position, nowhere. You have to submit the vulnerability first, then only you will get rewarded, you will get appreciation. Okay, this is the things work. Okay, and never
Should
give
we
up.
go
Try
into?
yeah, yeah, tell me.
I was saying that should we go into like individual programs like some
Yeah, yeah.
website host their own program, or should we go into?
It's your choice. You can go Backrod, HackerOne, or some website which has responsible disclosure. Okay, you can hunt on them also. Okay, try to submit 10 to 15 bucks daily. Okay, as if you are free, try to submit 20 to 20. Give a target. If you submit 200 vulnerabilities in a month, or 200, 300, you might have, you might get one to two or three valid vulnerability in a month. If you get one, yeah, three valid vulnerability in a month, that is equivalent to $500. Okay, you will feel like giving up, but don't give up. Okay,
Okay, sir.
yeah.
Anybody else
So
having some more queries can put forward your questions.
Yes, we do have Sagar out here.
yeah. Hey, bro, Sagar Anand.
Yes, sir.
Hey, call me Sagar. No, sir, please.
Uh, Actually, Sagar, we have a Sagar Anand here who had a query, and
Yeah.
his query was how to secure from scripted email, which is used for making host, that is DDoS, and hacking through system. Probably he could elaborate a bit more on
Yeah,
his
yeah,
term
yeah. Can you
and
please
unmute
elaborate,
and
Sagar?
put forth.
I could not understand your question.
Sir, actually, they are making hello.
Please, yeah, please.
Actually,
Can you be a bit louder, please?
hello. Uh,
Hi.
Hello, hi sir. Actually, I came across many links where the links come through emails. They are scripted, which auto runs. When you click it, auto runs in the background of your computer and download some files from the servers, and they uh, they run frequently in backgrounds. And
Okay, got it. I got your question.
normally they are making host in the computer for DDoS in the server, means following any server.
Okay, I got it. You're asking like you're getting some mails, okay, malicious message, and you're clicking on the link, and after that you're getting affected, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So, you, Sagar, which year you are in?
Third year,
Okay,
CSC.
okay, all right. You are a third year, so like you have to be cautious about all the thing. Okay, when you're getting any mail from anyone, like you're getting any link, please don't click on the link. Okay, first of all, what you'll do, just hover on the link. Okay, on the left hand side of the screen. Okay, you will get a real link. Let me show you an demo. Okay, your entire screen. Let me show you a demo. So what I'm talking about, if this is the link, okay, please let me know if it is visible. Okay, if this is the link, please hover here, and in the left hand side you can see the real link. Can you see in the left bottom hand side? So sometimes what happens, like this link, they are manipulating the link. Okay, suppose here is Sagar Patra written, instead there would be Evil here written. Okay, but if you hover, you will get the real link in the left hand side. You can do this trick, or either you can copy paste this link and click in Google. You can search if there are some like malicious thing, you will get a knowledge by googling. Or the third thing is Virus Total. Uh, go to Total, paste your links there. If that Virus Total will check that link. Okay, if that is somehow like it is vulnerable, okay, then the Virus Total will tell you that this is a malicious thing, you should not click. Or like, okay, you will get hint about that. So simply don't click on the link. Okay, and I also suggest you, if you're getting malicious document, or if you're getting PDF, if you're getting document, please don't blindfoldly like open this thing. Okay, don't open. Why? Because nowadays many things like hacking are happening on someone is sending you a document, like social engineering. I'm telling you the technique. I am the hacker, and Sagar, I will send you a PDF. Okay, take example, PDF I will send you from company, as you are a college student, third year. So I know your what is uh, weakness. Okay, so obviously, so what I'll do, as a company name, I will send you an email and I'll tell you, hey, you are selected for an intern, we will be paying you 18K stipend. Please go through this document to do the formality. Obviously you will get attracted. Okay, you will open the document, but as soon as you open the document, you give the permission, you are hacked. Okay, so obviously check the things in a correct manner. Okay.
Yes, sir. Sir,
Yeah.
actually, in many links are making scripts in background. Actually, the hackers are using some links to create scripts in background, which runs uh, uh, background in the background, which used
you,
for DDoS attacks. Means they are
yeah, yeah. So what you are referring, if you are clicking on the link, so that is called downloader malware. Okay,
yes, yes,
malware are many kinds. So that is downloader malware. If you click on the link, some application, something is downloaded on your behalf, but you don't have an idea. That is downloader malware. Okay, that downloads on your system, and then it auto executes. And after auto executing, okay,
yes,
it may again download, or it may do something kind of malicious activity.
yes,
Okay, that you don't know the behavior of malware. Okay, you obviously don't know. So better, I'm telling, if you get any link kind of malicious, go to Virus Total, provide that link. Okay, then you will have an idea, like what where is the link from, if anyone impacted from there, you can get an idea.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks. Kalinga, copy link address will also work. Okay, yeah. So Gyana, what are you asking?
I was saying that like while hunting for bugs, should we like focus on a specific program like Facebook, Google, or some specific program, or should we try out a list of vulnerabilities on multiple programs? What should be
Yeah.
better?
For hunting bugs, you should learn as many vulnerability you can. Okay, you should have your own checklist of vulnerability. All right. So suppose you're taking one program. Okay, take one program, and in that program, follow your checklist and hunt for all the vulnerability, hunt for everything. Okay, don't miss out anything, hunt for everything. That is a good practice. Normally what people are doing, like, they are learning this thing and they are trying this thing on the application, they're not getting and they're getting depressed. Okay, so that is not the scenario. You should try all your checklist in one website. If you are done with your checklist, then move on to the other website. Okay.
Okay, sir, then can we have some good resources to start with in
Yeah,
bug
good resources for bug bounty are like, you should read reports. Okay, pentester land. Okay, go to pentester land, you will find a bunch of reports. Go to hacker one activity. Okay, you will find many reports. Okay, in Twitter, follow some hackers, they will share some tips. Okay, uh, follow medium reports. Okay, you will get many tips. Okay, through this process, you can evolve yourself. This is not a one day thing. Okay, you need to learn and do things.
Okay, sir, thank you.
Yeah. Any more question, guys? Kishore, you have interest in cybersecurity.
Yeah.
Hey, so you're saying you have interest in cybersecurity, but you don't have any idea where to start, right?
Yes. Actually, I am right now in MCA final year.
All right. Okay.
But actually, I was interested in cybersecurity, but I got no guidance. So in lockdown, I start reading on my own.
Yeah,
But
that's good. Okay, appreciate your thing.
but
Okay, so
actually,
you're asked how way
yes,
to start and how to start, right?
yes,
Obviously, as you mentioned, CTF, you can go for CTF. Okay.
yeah. I was doing CTF on Hacker 101
Yeah.
but I don't think that means. I think I am stuck there. I am not going anywhere right now.
No. So I would rather suggest you try Hack Me. Okay,
Okay.
note it down. Try Hack Me. Sign up there. Okay, and practice there. CTF. Try Hack Me is a good platform for beginners. Okay, if you are doing good in Try Hack Me, then you can shift to Hack the Box. Okay, you can solve machines there. So these two platform I would suggest you for as a beginner point of view. Obviously, go for Try Hack Me, learn the things in Try Hack Me, then move on to Hack the Box. Hack the Box is a medium to expert level, and Try Hack Me is beginner to medium level. Okay, you can do this thing. And obviously I would encourage you to play CTF. In CTF you will learn many things. Okay, many new vulnerabilities.
Yeah, I also participated in one that CTF, the Codex Club have organized before
Okay.
1 or 2
Yeah.
weeks. Okay. But I was surprised that I got means there was some. I think I get to learn with new things, but I
Okay,
think
that's
it
good.
taking very long time.
Okay, don't worry. Okay, try Hack Me. Okay, and do daily. Okay, solve machines daily, and let me know your progress after 15 days. Okay, connect me in LinkedIn and let me know your progress after 15 days. How is your progress? Okay, go for try Hack Me, and obviously you will be very happy. I'll say from my experience, try Hack Me is a good platform. You will learn many things from beginner point of view. Okay, and the best thing is, once you solve machine, you're getting your rank. Okay, and you can use this rank to showcase for interview or anywhere. Okay, like me, I am top 4% in try hack me. Okay, in hack the box, my rank is 725 globally. Okay, all over the world. So you can use this rank in interview also. That attracts a lot in your resume.
I actually applied for an internship and actually I got selected there also as a beginner track penetration testing internship. But I don't know how what they will be Means they actually asked for some simple question, and I got
Mhm.
selected. But means I don't know what a penetration tester should be knowing there as an intern. Can you help me there? Means
Which company?
uh, it's virtually testing foundation.
Okay, you're selected, then you please go for it. I guess they will teach you. Okay,
Yeah.
they will teach you many things there. And as I told you, the like many platforms, you can learn reports. Okay, please learn reports daily. So this is field like the cybersecurity field. There is one thing, okay, as per my experience, what is the best thing, if you have the curiosity, if you have the curiosity to learn every day, then you stay somewhere in the crowd. Okay, you have to give your effort at the very beginning. Okay, at the starting point of your time, you have to spend many hours, okay, many hours in your field. Now after becoming good in this field, you have to also spend hours or some few minutes. Okay, like I don't get time usually after my office, but usually spend 30 minutes or 15 minutes daily. So the, to become pro, okay, to become pro, first of all, go through try hack me, hack the box, read report. Okay, then after you're satisfied, do bug bounties. Okay, that will help you a lot in your career. That's because wherever you apply, they see what is your contribution. If they see you are doing bug bounties, and if you're doing, if you have a good rank, they will ask you several questions. Okay, they will ask you what vulnerability have you found. That will be impression. Okay, and this will help throughout your career, and this is the best time as you are in college. This is the best time to learn all the things to make your backbone strong. Okay, once you go into the job, then there will be no time to learn. Okay, so this is the best time, best uh, practice all the things, learn all the things as possible. Okay, make your
Oh,
background strong.
actually, I'm a little bit scared to do this thing practically because I've never done these things. Because uh,
Hey,
at-
bro,
yeah,
why are you getting scared? शेर है क्या,
ना
खाएगा तुमको?
नहीं नहीं ऐसा नहीं है।
तो
एक्चुअली जब मैं पहले साइबर सिक्योरिटी पढ़ना स्टार्ट किया था और एक दो सीटीएफ क्लियर किया, तो एक्चुअली अच्छा लगा था। बट उसके बाद से जब मैं मतलब बहुत कुछ ऐसा देखा जो कि मतलब सिस्टम को हैम्पर कर सकता है, तो काफी बिना गाइडेंस के मतलब ये सब करना थोड़ा डर लगा।
हाँ, don't fear. Okay, in try hack me, hack the box, it is legal. Okay, it is obviously legal. You can hack their machine. Okay, that is a playground. Okay, that is playground for attackers. You can learn here. Okay, कोई ऐसे डरने की जरूरत नहीं. And for bug bounties, whichever website you have responsible disclosure, go and hack there. Okay, but don't do any malicious thing. Okay, it's somehow like if you get SQL injection, you're dumping the database of their company and you're storing in your personal laptop. That is unethical and illegal. Don't do this attack, these things. If you show them like you can hack, report to them, reach out to them. Okay, they'll be very happy and they'll be very happy to reward you. Okay, and you will get very happy end of the day. Okay, as for my experience, I'm saying you all this thing.
Okay, I will try
Ha.
practicing on that platform.
So
Try.
I guess we are done with that. So is anybody else having some queries? Or if not, we will wrap up the session here. So my sincere gratitude to our beloved speaker, Mr. Sagar Patra, for delivering such an interactive as well as informative session. So we have thus gained a better understanding on cybersecurity, penetration testing, bug bounty, and other related stuff. And it's been a pleasure being with all of you today and honored to be among such accomplished individuals. I personally wish to express my gratitude to all the attendees on behalf of the entire GDAC ITR team present over here. And we are glad that you took all your time out of your personal schedule and made this event a great success. So, summarizing up everything, I would like to conclude here. Thank you all and have a great day ahead.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for this wonderful event. I had a good time with you all, interacting you. I hope I could have met you in your college. Okay, that would be a wonderful session again. Okay, if I get a chance, then obviously I'll go and meet you with you all. Thanks, everyone. Have a
All
good
the
day.
attendees, thereby, we would be sharing you the PPT that has been shared by Mr. Sagar Patra soon, okay?
Thank you so much, everyone. And with this, we wrap up the session. Y'all could connect with Mr. Sagar Patra over LinkedIn. His ID is out there in the chat box. And once again, thanks a lot for spending your Saturday morning with us. It was great having all of you here. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.